Autumn is one of my favorite seasons, and I have been so happy to decorate my home for fall. The coming of autumn, of course, means lots of cooking, baking, and get-togethers. Today, I'm preparing to host some friends for dinner and dessert. I will be making meatloaf with mashed potatoes and a salad and pumpkin cheesecake muffins, a recipe my sister shared with me last week, and I just couldn't wait to try it. Something I like to do when there's a recipe that the family absolutely loves is I handwrite it down into our family recipe book, and when the kids get older, I hope to pass it down to one of our daughters on her wedding day. That's just something special that I thought of a long time ago, and currently my girls help me handwrite the recipes into the book as we go. Since September started, I have been so excited to make pumpkin anything. I already made pumpkin cheesecake several times, and I'm so excited to try these pumpkin cheesecake muffins today. Sometime next week, I also want to bake some pumpkin bread as well. And the great thing about these little baked goods is that they're not only wonderful for dessert, but they're also so great to have with breakfast coffee the next day. The wonderful thing about most of my favorite dessert recipes that I write down in our recipe book is that they mostly contain pantry staples that I already have at home at all times. This way, when I randomly think of something I'd like to bake, I don't need to rush to the store to buy special ingredients. I usually already have all of them at home. As Thanksgiving approaches, while I bake and get some quiet thinking time to myself, I can't help but think about our big move that we made cross-country 3 years ago. My heart is filled with gratitude and joy when I think about how we saw God's hand in everything. When we arrived at our new home, ready to begin a new chapter, we barely knew anyone in our new community. But right away, different people and families started showing kindness and pouring love into our lives and into our family. It wasn't easy leaving all of our family behind and moving to a totally new and unfamiliar place, but with lots of prayer and hopefulness, things started falling into place for us in our new home and community. Having always been very close with our extended family, one of my biggest worries was that our home would be empty on holidays, that there would not be a house full of people and loved ones to fill our chairs and couches and share holiday meals and laughter with. And though that first year was hard, we moved in December. We actually arrived December 31st on just about an hour before New Year's. And by the time we reached the following November, little did we know that not only would we be hosting our first Thanksgiving in our new home, but that it would be overflowing with people that we love and who love our family. God has truly blessed us above and beyond, and now here at our new location and community, we feel right at home, and now almost every weekend, our house is always filled with friends and loved ones. Sometimes when we feel called to do something, we may be afraid of the risk it involves, especially when we feel in the dark and we don't know what our next step looks like. But I love that God's word tells us that we walk by faith and not by sight. And when we allow ourselves to walk by faith, the end result may be even more beautiful than we ever imagined. My husband is away at our church men's retreat this weekend, and I am hosting a moms and kids movie night at my house. I absolutely love cooking for our dear friends. Every time I host, I try to make something different, and I try to make sure the dessert fits the season, so I am super excited for them to try these pumpkin cheesecake muffins, and I will be serving these with coffee. So these pumpkin cheesecake muffins come in 3 parts. So there's the base, the muffin part, then the filling, the cream cheese filling, and last the streusel. So here I'm working on the streusel. If you're interested in making this recipe at home, I have attached the recipe in the description below, so please be sure to check that out. While the muffins are baking, I'm getting to work on the meatloaf. While I was already full on into cooking and baking, I opened my pantry to realize that I am out of breadcrumbs. I didn't have any kind of panko crumbs, Italian breadcrumbs, nothing. So because Mark isn't home, I can't just send him to the store like I normally would if I'm missing something while cooking. So I ended up having to use goldfish, and it actually worked out just fine. You couldn't really tell the difference. So for dinner with the meatloaf, I'm serving mashed potatoes and this garden fresh salad. For the mashed potatoes, I added butter and heavy cream and a little bit of salt. And in the salad, it's just olive oil, balsamic vinegar, cucumbers, spring mix, and carrots.